Oh shit. No, not on my face! Oof. Dude, that was so good. Alrighty, so Kulve Taroth builds. I'm going to be updating the light bowgun builds that I had previously with the new armor pieces that are available and pretty much everything that I could put into it. I've done a bunch of tests. This, in my opinion, is my personal best. Maybe someone out there can come up with something a little bit better, or maybe someone has better decorations or something along that nature. But let's have a look at what we got going here. So we'll be running, this is going to be a two-stage build, so you're going to have to swap out the build whenever you clear the coating from Kulve Taroth. So this is for when she has the coating on. You're going to be using thunder damage. It's pretty much the same principle as the previous build that I had. There's just a couple of changes here and there to make up for the fact that, you know, there's new equipment and shit. So we're going to be using the Lunastra gun, Empress Shell Sticks, and we are going to be augmenting it with an affinity increase because we want to crit as much as possible to take advantage of critical element, which we will have in this particular set. When it comes to mods, we're going to be sticking in 3 recoil suppressors because it enables you to fire and move whilst firing elemental rounds, which is pretty much where we're going to be basing most of our damage on. You can see that this is going to give us a base of 20% affinity, which is pretty damn good. But moving onwards, we have Rathalos Helm Beta. The reason we got the Rathalos Helm Beta is because it's got 2 attack, and I need to have 2 pieces of Rathalos set. And in my opinion, the chest piece from Rathalos, Azure Rathalos, combined with the helmet of regular Rathalos is going to be the best bang for your buck. You can swap that Rathalos helmet for the Azure Rathalos helmet if you really feel you need to, but in my opinion, this will give you more damage. Now, in decorations, there's going to be a release jewel in there, and some of you guys are going to like, release jewel, I can't get it. It's like, well, that's too fucking bad. I'm sorry. Can't do anything for you. Then we got Bolt Jewel. We got another Bolt Jewel in the helmet. And then on the Wrath Soul Mail Beta, we got Mighty Jewel. We're going to stuck this place full of Mighty Jewels. We got the Drachen Van Braces Alpha, getting a little bit more critical eye, as well as, I think, attack, right? These also give you 1 attack. Yeah, these also give you 1 attack. We're going to put 2 Mighty Jewels in there. Then we got Kulve Taroth's Malice. We're going to stick an attack jewel in there so that we get that 4 attack boost for 5% more affinity. The reason we're going with Kulve Taroth's Malice is because it's got another free element up. If you want, you can replace the Breaker Charm with Release Charm, and then you'll have Kulve Taroth's Malice to give you... Actually, you got Wrath Soul Mail Beta to give you the free element, and then you can replace Kulve Taroth's Malice with something else, but this is what I would go with. You got the attack charm on there, another Bolt Jewel in there, and then a Destroyer Jewel on the Kaiser Greaves Gamma, together with an Expert Jewel to raise that critical eye just a little bit more, and a Breaker Charm to give you 3 points Part Breaker, because the time in which it is the most important to break parts, in my personal opinion, is the time when she has her cloak. And I think that that is going to be something that is going to be a part of whatever requirements we're going to need to beat her face in whenever she goes enraged or whatever. I think that is going to be an important thing, breaking of the parts. If breaking of the parts turns out not to be that important, you can always just get like a Master's Charm instead of the Breaker Charm, and you can replace the Expert Jewel for something else that is useful to you, and you will get more affinity, which is going to greatly increase the damage that this build is going to do. So there you go. And as you guys can see, there is no weakness exploit this time around, because a lot of people criticize, oh, weakness exploit is not that great for breaking parts off Kulve Taroth. Okay. Now we're going to just get a crap ton of affinity and no weakness exploit. Also, do remember that this gun is particularly important because it has razor sharp spare shot. So the gun in this build is not optional. You need to get this gun for this build. Otherwise, it does not work. And basically what you're going to do once you get all this stuff is you pull out, you equip your thunder ammo. By the way, make sure to take enough materials to craft more thunder ammo throughout the hunt. And you shoot, and this is going to be, and your dual shock battery is going to be low. But you shoot, and this is going to be about the damage that you'll do. Probably on Kulve Taroth will deal considerably more damage. Kulve Taroth is currently not active in the console space. As you can see, look at us getting value out of that razor sharp spare shot. You see how many extra shots we got there? That was beautiful. And now, if you look at the build, by the way, you're looking at 75% base affinity. That is a no questions asked 75% chance to crit. You don't need a hitter in specific spots. It doesn't matter where you hit. There's 75% chance to crit. And considering that you got Rathalos Mastery, that means that whenever that procs, you will be dealing additional elemental damage on the monster. So again, this is for the first stage of the fight. Now for the second stage of the fight, we're going to load up on a different weapon. We're going to go into LGB Kulve 2. And naturally, we're going to be using also Rathalos Helm, Beta, Rathalos Soul, whatever, the chest piece. And you guys might be wondering, why not Azure Rathalos? Because I tested it, and this one deals more damage. Again, we're going to need release jewels. This time, instead of one, you're going to need 2. If you do not have 2 release jewels, then tough titties, that's your own damn fault. There's nothing I can do about it. No, in all honesty, if you don't have them, you can get rid of the Master's Charm and get yourself an Awakening Charm, which is going to replace these 2 release jewels. And then you're going to have less crit. But if you do have these jewels, you're better off using them. So we're going to be using the Taroth Blitz spread. You don't need to use this gun. Just go get whatever gun it is that's got rapid fire frost, which I don't really remember whichever one it is, because obviously Taroth Blitz is a very RNG weapon. But there is another option of a gun that you can use instead of this one. Just go look through the workshop and figure out which one of these has rapid fire thunder. Not thunder, rapid fire frost. That's what you're going to want to have. Then we got Rathalos Helm Beta, like I said, Frost Jewel, Wrath Soul Mail Beta, Mighty Jewel, 3 Mighty Jewels again. We're going to use the Xeno'jiiva Claws Gamma, which is potentially one of the items that I hate the most in this game. But we're going to need 3-piece Xeno'jiiva in order to get Razor Sharp Spare Shot, because unlike the Lunastra gun, you're not going to have it on the weapon itself. Therefore, it doesn't really matter what stats these next pieces of gear give you, because you're going to need 3 pieces of Xeno'jiiva, so I thought might as well go with a Gamma variety because it will give me more sockets to work with in order to make up for the fact that I'm not a big fan of Xeno'jiiva stuff in general. And basically, if you look at the final skills, you got level 4 attack boost, level 4 crit eye, level 3 ice attack, level 3 free element ammo up, maximum might, level 2 critical boost, which is not intentional, just comes with the set. Critical boost doesn't actually do that much for this build. You'd figure, oh, but it's got hella critical. Why wouldn't critical boost work? Because critical boost only works, as far as I understand, for the actual physical damage. It doesn't really help you all that much with elemental damage, so it is very much a minor thing. Now, beyond that, you're also going to be getting Rathalos Mastery out of the critical, with critical element, out of the 2 set piece bonus for Rathalos. And there you go. This is what I would socket the stuff with. I do have 2 attack jewels. I understand not everybody has 2 attack jewels. Sucks. Nothing I can do about that. If you don't have 2 attack jewels, you're going to have to take an L, and you're going to have to take another expert jewel. And you're going to lose out possibly on a little bit of affinity. Either way, you're still looking at 70% affinity. Again, no weakness exploits, so you don't need to be hitting any specific targets. This gun is also custom modded with 3 recoil suppressors so that you can fire and move, and at the same time it's also got an affinity boost as well, so that you can crit, so that you can dish out, wait, that's the wrong type of ammo, so that you can crit and dish out a crap ton of damage. It's going to deal around the same damage as the other gun, because even though the other one has more attack, you're not going to be feeling it all that much. Now, the thing is, I think that for the second phase, I'm still considering whether I want to use actual melee builds instead of using guns. But I don't know. That's going to remain to be seen, because previously it was definitely a lot easier to just use guns throughout the whole fight. I'm very curious to see what the enraged state looks like. And at that point, I might, do something else, work on a different build, figure it out, what we're going to do about that stuff. I do have 2 more melee builds that I can show you guys real quick, but I don't think they're particular. It's that thing. I still got to test them. So we got the Shatter build. This is a hammer build that I worked on because I was thinking about just using a hammer to break parts. This build's got level 5 critical eye, level 5 handicraft, health boost, weakness exploit, part breaker, slugger. Still has 1 attack boost and non-elemental boost. But basically, it's just straight up damage and break. It's got nothing to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this because one thing that I always found with melee weapons on Kulve Taroth is that it's real boring. It's real boring chasing after Kulve Taroth. Wow, that was actually really bad damage. Expected more. 325. There you go. So yeah, it's just like I find that chasing after Kulve Taroth is a pain in the ass, so I'm not sure that I will use it, but just in case you want to, you can take a... Oh, well, yeah, in terms of weapon and whatnot, Diablo's Shatter is second. It's like the best hammer in the game, bar the hammer that drops from Kulve Taroth that I've never gotten and probably never will. But either way, Diablo's Shatter with affinity increase and health regen. And then here's the stats. You can take a screenshot if you want to potentially use this build for yourself. Now let me show you the other melee build that I'm considering. And again, this could be stuff that I interweave between like phase 1 and phase 2, depending on how tough it gets. And then finally we have the Break It, which is kind of like the same concept as the hammer build. Difference is you're using a charge blade. And we're using also the Taroth Strong Arm Horn. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys in the decoration screen. It's kind of dumb. Equipment info. There you go. It's got health regen and attack increase. We're going for maximum attack because I could not fit weakness exploit or anything that improved my affinity into the build. So we're just going to go for raw damage. And most of your damage is going to be coming from the file discharge. So that's what you're going to want to do. And here's what that build looks like right here. So if you don't have the Taroth Strongarm Orn, you can craft the Diablos, the Tyrannus something. Is it Diablos Tyrannus? I forget. It's the charge blade from Diablos, which is pretty much the same damage. It just has -10 defense. That's all, the only thing that this weapon has over the Kulve Taroth version of the Diablos weapon. The only thing it's got over it is got 10 more defense. So we're going to get level 5 attack boost, level 3 health boost, level 3 focus, level 3 part breaker, level 3 artillery, level 1 capacity boost, level 1 non-elemental boost. So since you're not going to be fighting from range, you're going to want to have health boost for sure. Otherwise, you're going to get your ass kicked. And naturally capacity boost, elemental boost, and level 3 artillery to max out your deeps. And then the part breaker. And like I said, we are going to be in negative affinity, so most of your damage is naturally going to be coming from that sweet SAD, baby. Let's get that up. But again, I'm not sure if this is something that I would want to walk into. Boom, and now let's not miss. 83 per file, which on Kulve Taroth could potentially be a little bit more. Remember, you're also adding 30% on top of each of those files in terms of part breaking potential, so that's pretty good. Now you guys are wondering, but Rurikhan, what about the sharpness of the weapon's not that great? Well, yeah, but that's why we have Diablos Mastery Bludgeoner. So basically, even when your sharpness goes into the red, so long as you keep that blade sharpened up, you should be golden. It is not a problem at all because you're going to have the Diablos bonus, which basically the less sharpness you have, the more damage it deals. So it pretty much makes up for the fact that you are losing sharpness. All you got to do is keep the blade charged up so that you don't bounce off. And Bob's your uncle.